Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I will talk about Russian war casualties provided by the Ukrainian side. Again, each and every time I make these kind of videos, I start with a disclaimer, which is the purpose of this is not to um, vilify anybody or to create anybody any any problems. The problem is I want to make sure that I record this in my videos, and when this war ends, we can look back and see how accurate or not the sources were in reporting the losses, how exaggerated or maximized or minimized. This is the only reason, because as you know, there are certain things that are sometimes said, and then after they're said, you look back and try to find the information you don't find anymore to say, hey, I thought you were saying something else about 6 months ago, and you can't find those anymore. That is like as I try to make an analogy with George Orwell's 1984 novel, where history was burned, so you didn't have any history, and you couldn't verify the past. So just keep a record of the past here. That's the purpose of this. I know these are exaggerations, but these are the only figures I have, and nobody else has other figures. So here you have. Maybe I put my goggles on too. So this comes from General Staff of Army Forces of Ukraine for today, 18th of May, 2022. And we have here like this. They report total number since the beginning of the invasion war, whatever you want to call this, operation. And I will say the number of people or the numbers that changed since yesterday, increased or not increased. For instance, we have liquidated personnel. The total is 28,300 currently. That's plus 400 people died in one night or one day. Tanks, a total of 1,251. That's plus 16 tanks. Armored personnel vehicle, 3,043 vehicles plus 34. That's the extra here. Artillery systems, MLRS. So artillery systems are 586, MLRS are 199, and that's an extra of 8 for artillery and 1 for MLRS. Anti-aircraft warfare systems, total 91 plus 1. And we have aircraft, 202 plus 1. So that's an increase of 2 since 2 days ago, I guess. And then helicopters, 167, 0 extra. That's a lot of them. Then UAV, operational, tactical level, we have 441, that's plus 5. Then we have cruise missiles. There were destroyed 102 cruise missiles, that's plus 5 that were destroyed past 24 hours. Vehicles and fuel tanks, destroyed 2,137, that's plus 28. And special equipment, it is 43, nothing extra. Warship boats, 13. So that's the boats thing. Then it says here that in the last 24 hours, as of May 18th, the defense of Ukraine destroyed 16 enemy tanks, 8 artillery systems, 1 aircraft, and 5 UAVs. This is reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. So this is it with this. According to General Staff, the heaviest losses of the enemy, Russian army, were reported in the 24 hours in the Sloviansk, Kryvyi Rih, and Zaporozhye directions. So these were the losses according to Russian losses according to the Ukrainian Armed Forces Ministry Department, blah blah blah. These guys. So I don't have the other. I don't have anybody else providing me with any other data, and I don't think anybody else can provide with any other data. We don't have UN mission over there to see everything. This is reported by the army, their army. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And by the way, they reported that the EU made a report and said that 15% of the Russian forces were destroyed during this operation so far. So 15%. Now these guys were what, like about 28,000 people dead. So let's approximate. I did in the other one. I said okay. In the other video I posted regarding something else, it was with the casualties of war. The previous video. It's a report done by the United Nations in Ukraine, casualties of war, the civilians casualties of war, and they got to about 8,000, and they break it on men, women, children, boys, girls, and unidentifiable, and so on. And then if it's 15%, let's say they killed, let's say 30,000, right? So that would be 30% of the army would be what? Let's say 60,000. Then you multiply that with about three. Okay, so that's 60 multiplied by 3, you got to 180,000. The number of a Russian army. You approximate the 10% that you left out from, and then you get about 200,000 people. Allegedly, is the army of Russia at this point involved in Ukraine, if we are to believe that almost 15% of the forces were destroyed so far. Do you think it's 200,000 soldiers over there? I have no idea, but I know that mercenaries over there, probably they're volunteers. There's regular army, and who else? Who knows who else is over there, right? I would be surprised to, I mean, interested to know. I know that Zelensky was extending the martial law in Ukraine for 30 more days today, and mobilization. So that means, so martial law and population mobilization. So I'm assuming that all men up to, I don't know, 60 years of age would have to enlist. I don't know if they already did that, to defend their country. So I would like to know what that population, the amount would be of the Ukrainian army. Well, nevertheless, we'll find out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.